Good morning, everyone. My job as your mayor is to keep the city safe. And we are here today to talk about the 2024 crime data, which reports that both homicides and violent crime are down in Los Angeles. Now, we certainly understand that if you have been a victim of crime or know someone who has been a victim of crime, these statistics do not necessarily represent your experience. Any crime is unacceptable to us, and we know that everyone standing here today knows that we must continue to approach this issue with urgency and precision. Over the last 2 years, we've made key improvements in a comprehensive approach to public safety. Our recruitment of people who want to be officers are up. We have attracted record numbers of applicants to join the department. However, we are still struggling with the hiring process. We've decreased street encampments by 10%. And what that means is that that's a decrease in police calls. It's also a decrease in crime that can be associated with encampments. We've launched effective task forces like the Organized Retail Task Force, which has led to hundreds of arrests and millions of dollars in stolen goods recovered. Smash and grabs have declined. The Heavy Metal Task Force has made more than 100 arrests and recovered thousands of pounds of copper wire. If you wonder why your streetlights are out, many chances it's because of copper wire theft. LAPD has launched focus initiatives like the one in MacArthur Park, which has started to interrupt a cycle of crime and just 2 weeks ago recovered $350,000 worth of stolen goods. Another major change to Los Angeles Police Department is welcoming back Jim McDonnell as our chief. He has improved morale. He is committed to growing the department and enhancing relationships with communities across the city. So I also want to acknowledge the community leaders that are here today because this happens together. So we know that in order to actually make LA safer, we need a comprehensive approach, suppressing crime when it happens and working hard to prevent crime from taking place to begin with. So we've launched the Mayor's Office of Community Safety to support community-based approaches to safety through the strategic deployment of community-based programs designed to prevent crime, like the Gang Reduction and Youth Development Program and Summer Night Lights. We have been able to improve safety across neighborhoods in the city. The city has also expanded civilian crisis response programs like the Circle Team that provide public health responses to emergencies, especially involving mental health crises. This is important because many times individuals experiencing mental health issues can be nonviolent in the beginning, but if somebody doesn't attend to them, it can switch to violence, and then the police have to intervene. So this new approach is absolutely making a difference, and there'll be more about the community-based efforts tomorrow. So to remind you of some statistics, homicides dropped in 2023 and again decreased in 2024, this time by 14%. 3 of the 4 geographic bureaus within the LAPD saw a reduction in homicides. In communities where the Gang Reduction and Youth Development Program and community safety partnerships have taken proactive measures to engage residents, in those areas, LAPD has reported a 40% reduction in homicides. The number of Angelenos shot decreased by 20%. Citywide violent crimes, which also decreased in 2023, fell again in 2024. Property crimes, including burglary, motor theft, and theft-related offenses, also saw a decline. Our streets are also getting safer. Felony hit-and-run traffic crashes resulting in death and DUIs are both down. Now, there are also areas that we have to continue to keep an eye on. As mentioned earlier, statistics don't mean that everyone everywhere feels safe, and we are working to address that. So robberies decreased a little, but essentially plateaued. There were high-profile incidents on Metro, which has led to improvements on the entry to transit, as well as en route security. For example, the measures to detect weapons. And the business community also needs support to ensure ensure their shops are safe, as well as shoppers in their stores. In the coming year, we will continue to implement new comprehensive strategies that work. And if there are things that are not working, we will work to change them. Again, our message to Angelenos is that we will continue to do everything possible to keep you safe. Thank you, Chief McDonnell.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, good morning, and thank you all for being here today. I'm honored to stand alongside Mayor Bass as we present a comprehensive overview of the state of public safety in Los Angeles. We're here to share progress made in 2024, acknowledge the challenges we continue to face, and outline our path forward into 2025. Before I speak to the numbers, I'd like to recognize members of the LAPD command staff that are here with me today, as well as leaders from our local community, Mr. Mark Overstreet and his wife, who are longtime Hollenbeck CPAB members, and Ms. Maria Armas, our community leader from Ramona Gardens. Thank you all for your hard work and support. With our continued collaboration, I believe Los Angeles will continue to make strides further in crime reduction. Public safety is a foundation of a strong community, and transparency is the key in building trust with the residents that we serve. Today, I'll walk through the most recent crime statistics, discuss the impact of policing strategies, and introduce new initiatives designed to make our city safer. One important factor to remember here is that early 2020, the LAPD transitioned to the National Incident-Based Reporting System. You'll hear that referred to as NIBRS, which fundamentally changes the way crime data is collected and analyzed. Our transition to NIBRS provides more detail, allowing for a more precise understanding of crime trends and a better informed policy decisions. While this different standard affects our ability to provide direct one-on-one year-to-date comparisons, it does provide us with more accurate data to improve our crime-fighting efforts. This change also brings the department into alignment with national reporting standards. That's been a work that's been in progress for about 10 years now, so we're happy to be able to get through that and move forward in a very positive direction. Hollenbeck Police Station is a fitting location for today's announcement because in 2024, Hollenbeck had 26 fewer homicides than in 2023, 14 compared to 40, which represents a 65% reduction in homicides. A truly impressive statistics which speaks to the hard work and dedication put forth by our officers as well as our community partners. Looking at the big pictures across Los Angeles, in 2024 we saw shifts in various crime categories that reflect both the effectiveness of our strategies and the ongoing challenges that we must continue to address. In 2024, there were 284 homicides compared to 331 in 2023. That's a 14% decrease and is partly thanks to targeted enforcement and community-led intervention programs. On the number of victims shot, the total number of victims shot was down 19% in 2024. In 2023, there were 1,206 reports of victims who had been shot, and in 2024, the number dropped to 981. Rapes decreased by almost 100, 1,505 in 23 to 1,408 in 2024. And robberies, we saw a slight decline in robberies. 2024, there were 8,700, just under, while in 2023, there were 8,637. Aggravated assaults, we saw a large decline in the number of aggravated assaults from 20,042 in 23 to 17,671 in 2024. In looking at both a decrease in homicides and the number of people shot, it's important to acknowledge that in 2024, LAPD removed 7,634 firearms from the street. Of those, 790 were ghost guns, which we know are often used in criminal activity. An area where we can still do a direct comparison is with traffic fatalities. Citywide traffic fatalities are down 11% since 2023, and in 2024 there were 308 compared to 345 in the previous year. Of particular note is that 36.7% decrease in DUI-involved fatalities, with 19 in 2024 compared to 30 in 23. This downward trend is likely partly attributed to DUI enforcement at checkpoints and expanded public education in safe driving. Like many cities across the nation, Los Angeles continues to deal with illegal street racing and street takeovers. As we've all seen, these dangerous activities have led to serious collisions, injuries, property damage, and fatalities. The LAPD Street Racing Task Force will continue to conduct enforcement operations, seize vehicles involved in these activities, and seek out ways to prevent further incidents. We're supported in these efforts by new California legislation which brings harsher penalties for participants, organizers, and spectators and gives law enforcement agencies expanded authority to impound vehicles involved in street racing or street takeovers. In 2025, we'll continue our efforts and ask the public to help us further reduce fatalities by practicing safe and responsible driving practices. A critical part of our crime reduction strategy involves direct engagement with the communities that we serve. In 2024, we saw positive impacts from collaborative work with the Mayor's Office of Gang Reduction and Youth Development, or GRID, and the LAPD Community Safety Partnership Bureau. In 11 neighborhood engagement areas where CSPB and GRID worked within, there was a reduction in violent crime. Homicides fell by 40% in those areas. There were 10 homicides in 2023 and 6 in 2024. These efforts reinforce the philosophy that crime prevention is not just about enforcement. It's about collaboration, trust building, and ensuring our officers and residents work together to create safer neighborhoods. Looking ahead, we're committed to strengthening public safety through innovation, investment, and community partnerships. And our top priorities include strengthening patrol and response capabilities. Recruitment and retention will remain a focus for LAPD. Increasing our personnel strength is essential to enhancing public safety and effectively preparing for major upcoming events in Los Angeles, such as the FIFA World Cup in 2026, the Super Bowl in 2027, and the Olympic and Paralympic Games in 2028. In 2024, there were 393 recruits appointed. Obviously, I'd like to see that number continue to grow. To that end, we have several programs and support recruitment and successful completion of the Academy. This includes the Candidate Advancement Program, or CAP program, which prepares future recruits for the workout that they will see in the Academy. The Fit for Hire is designed for candidates who are striving to reach goals that will allow them to pass the medical portion of the hiring phase. And using technology as a force multiplier, we added 1,500 automated license plate recognition vehicles across the city. The ALPR technology gives officers the ability to automatically scan for wanted and stolen vehicles. Having this ability allows us to expedite the return of vehicles to their rightful owners. These initiatives reflect our commitment to an evidence-based, community-centered approach to policing. We recognize that long-term safety comes not just from arrests, but from partnerships, prevention, and proactive strategies that build a foundation for truly lasting change. As I conclude, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to the men and women of the Los Angeles Police Department for their unwavering dedication to protecting this city. Your service and sacrifice do not go unnoticed. I also want to thank our community members, business leaders, and the mayor for your continued support and partnership in making Los Angeles even safer. As we close out 2024 and look ahead, I want to highlight the positive trends we're seeing in the first quarter of 2025. So far this year, we've seen a reduction in all major crime categories compared to the same time last year. Homicides are down nearly 40%, with 41 recorded year-to-date compared to 68 in 2024. Robberies have dropped from 1,780 to 1,495. Aggravated assaults have seen a significant decline, down from just over 3,800 to down to 2,900. Crimes against persons overall have dropped, with 56 incidents compared to 5,970 last year. Burglaries are down with 2,574 incidents compared to 3,296 last year. The reason I'm using raw numbers as opposed to the percentages is because the difference we experienced over the year from going from the Uniform Crime Reporting System, which we've used for over 100 years, to the NIBRS system, as I touched on earlier. So apologies for the difficulty in the raw numbers. Motor vehicle thefts have seen a reduction from over 5,600 down to 4,300. Burglary theft from vehicles are also down, as well as general theft. These numbers reflect the hard work of our officers, the strength of our community partnerships, and the impact of our crime prevention strategies. While we're encouraged by this progress, we remain committed to further reducing crime and keeping our city safe. We can only do that with the partnership we enjoy with our other law enforcement partner agencies throughout the region, federal, state, and local, but most importantly with the community members that we work so hard to continue to build on the great foundation foundation that we have moving forward. If I could, let me open it up now. Any questions you might have?
Oh, is there a Spanish?
Oh, Spanish, yeah.
Were you going to do Spanish? No. Yeah, please, were you going to do Spanish? Yeah, come right here.
Good morning, buenos días. Soy el oficial Chávez, Departamento de Policía de Los Ángeles. A ver. Esta estación, pues, es un lugar muy apropiado para la reducción en crímenes, porque en el 2024 la división de Hollenbeck tuvo 26 homicidios menos que el 2023, 14 comparadas con los 40, que representa una reducción de 65% en homicidios. En el 2024 hubieron 284 comparados con 331. Esta reducción de 14% fue, pues, gracias a la comunidad y a la colaboración con nosotros. El número total de las personas que fueron tiroteadas o balaceadas fue reducido por 19%. La violación fue reducida por casi 100. Los robos. Vimos un poco bajo vi una reducción de crímenes de robos, y en el 2024 hubieron 8,696, mientras que en el 2023 hubieron 8,637. En ver estos números, el Departamento de Policía de Los Ángeles redujo o sacó 7,634 armas de la calle. De esas, 790 fueron armas que eran armas fantasma o armas no registradas. Y de todos los accidentes, de muertes en los accidentes, fueron reducidos por 11% desde el 2023. En el 2024 hubieron 308 comparado con 345 en el 2023. Y algo que se debe notar de eso es que esa reducción, 36.7% de esas fueron de conductores que estaban manejando embriagados. También con la colaboración de se llama SRTF, que reduce los números de los muchachos, los carros que están haciendo carreras o están bloqueando las intersecciones, también hubo reducciones en eso. En el 2024 vimos un impacto muy positivo con nuestro programa de GRID, GRYD, que en inglés es Gang Reduction y Youth Development. El GRID, ellos pues trabajaron con la comunidad, y en esas comunidades se vio una reducción en crimen violento. Homicidios cayeron por 40%. Hubieron 10 homicidios en el 2023 y 6 en el 2024. Lo que nosotros, la meta que tenemos que hacer como un departamento es reducir o incrementar el número de oficiales que estaban en nuestro departamento. Y esto es muy importante porque en el 2026 pues viene la Copa Mundial, en el 27 viene el juego del Super Bowl y también las Olimpiadas en el 2028. Hay muchos programas que nos ayudan como oficiales o personas que quieren ser oficiales, como el programa que se llama Candidate Advancement Program. Ese programa ayuda a avanzar a los oficiales. Yo fui uno de ellos que aprovechó de eso. Antes de la academia, pues no podía correr muy bien y tenía muchas dudas de ¿puedo ser policía o no puedo hacerlo? Pero ese programa de la asistencia a cadetes ayuda muchísimo. Yo lo usé y aquí estoy 18 años después, muy orgulloso de ser policía para este departamento porque pues nos da esas oportunidades. También hay un programa que se llama Fit for Hire. Ese también pues ayuda en esas mismas metas. Nosotros también añadimos lo que se llama el Automated License Plate Recognition, que básicamente es el lector de licencias de carros automático. Lo que significa es que mientras un carro va conduciendo, este lector puede automáticamente detectar si un carro es robado o si está sido buscado. Mientras cerramos el 2024, pues queremos ver lo positivo que estamos en el 2025. En este año hemos visto una reducción en todas las áreas de crímenes, hemos visto una reducción en delitos mayores. Homicidios han bajado 40% y los robos han bajado de 1.780 a 1.495. Atracos han bajado de 3.841 a 2.906. Y los crímenes contra personas han bajado desde el 4.656 hasta los comparados a 5.970. Los robos a domicilios fueron de 2.574 comparado con 3.296 al año pasado. Y pues usamos estos números pues porque con el sistema nuevo de reportaje que se llama NIBRS, con ese sistema pues es nacional, pues podemos alocar los fondos de maneras mejores y podemos estudiar mejor cómo sube y cómo baja los crímenes. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Questions?
With Craig or something?
Craig?
Yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day. First, a housekeeping question. The current sworn ranks for LAPD, did you give a number? 8760.
Yeah. 8760.
So with NIBARS being the new measure for this crime data today, does it have the effect at all of changing, if you were to apply the former method, would all these categories of crime appear down as you have presented?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. NIBRS is a system that pulls in a lot more data about each crime. There's various ways of being able to capture it that differ from the UCR. It'll give us more rich crime data as we move forward. The transition for LAPD started in May of last year, so by May of this year we'll start having year-to-year numbers that are straight comparisons. That's why we did the not the percentages but the raw numbers to try and be able to give the truest picture we can. We're still seeing a dramatic decrease, but I don't want to be able to tie it to a percentage because that might not be accurate. It'll be close in the ballpark, but not completely accurate. So to try and be as transparent as we can, we did it this way.
Is there any category of crime that is up or?
We're looking good right now. As we move into 2025, we're optimistic that we can continue on the trend that we're seeing. But right now, we're in a good spot.
Jorge Masses. Okay, Chief, when you were talking about 40% reduction in homicides in different neighborhoods, could you please be specific? Which neighborhoods are you talking about?
Yeah, those are aggregate numbers for the whole city. Like any time in our history, when you look at where is the crime occurring, certain times of the year, certain neighborhoods will benefit from increased enforcement, greater collaboration with the community, and we'll see transitions over time. I mentioned Hollenbeck in 2024 having the reduction of 65% that it had. Those are staggering numbers, great numbers to be able to move forward with. We've seen good numbers pretty much across the city, so I'm very thankful for that. We've got good teams in place working hard and not trying to do it on their own, but working with the other resources we have available. But we see upticks time to time in various communities, various divisions.
Okay, one more, please. At this time, the city of Los Angeles and you are pretending to increase the number of police officers.
Right.
Have you been able to identify why people doesn't want to join the LAPD?
Sure. What we're seeing here at LAPD is what we're seeing in every big city across America and Canada. We meet Major City Chiefs Association. We talk about the critical issues of the day impacting policing, and to a city, we hear the same types of issues that others are dealing with, and they mirror what we are. It's been very difficult post-2020. The political climate regarding policing has been a difficult one. People who are our best recruiters are our own people, and they've been telling their friends, relatives, sons and daughters, hey, not the time to come on this job. That is turning around. We're starting to see a transition there, and we're getting many more people coming in the front end. As the mayor mentioned before, the problem now is not the intake or the interest in people wanting to be police officers, but rather the process. We're competing with all of the other agencies in Southern California for the same pool of qualified people. So if we can't get our people through the process quickly, they get offers for jobs in other departments, and many of them take those. So we're looking very hard, working with Personnel Department, who does the hiring, or a big portion of the hiring, to be able to streamline those processes and be able to get people through in a more expeditious manner. Thank you.
Here in the 10, and then we'll go over.
Hi, Chief Brady with NBCLA. Can you talk a little bit about Wi-Fi jammers? I know last year you covered that in the La Cunada district, but we've been hearing from viewers in LA City proper that they've experienced Wi-Fi jams by burglars at their homes. Is that something that you're seeing?
Yeah, we absolutely are. Burglars have become much more sophisticated in recent years. We saw some South American crime crews that had come in and used that. That's where I first became aware of it, where they would do pattern of life studies, if you will, with cameras set up either in a parked vehicle across the street from the house they intended to hit, where they would then film when the person left, when they came, what their pattern was over a number of days. We've also seen cameras like that planted in the front yards, either at that house or across the street from the house, again looking to establish a pattern of life. Likewise, we've seen them show up at the house and door knock it, and then when nobody comes to the door, they'll go around the back and make entry through generally rear sliders. They'll break that. But while they're doing that, they have jammers that will jam the Wi-Fi signal that is responsible for the ability to be able to use your cameras as well as your alarms. So there's so many alarms and cameras now are driven by Wi-Fi, not hardwire, and so they attack those in that way and go in basically undetected.
And I saw you and the neighbor both nod enthusiastically when I mentioned that. Any tips for people? So many of us have those Wi-Fi. Anything you think that helps?
Yeah, I mean, hardwire is something that they would have to cut the power source to do that. We haven't seen that happening anywhere near to the degree that we have with the wireless. So just something to think about if you're going forward with a new alarm system, that there are always ways that people will try and defeat whatever the system of the day is, but also be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of somebody who parks a car that doesn't belong across the street and it sits there for a couple of days. Call us, we'll check it out. It could be somebody looking to see what you're doing and coming and going. And really have good neighbors. Know your neighbors, have them look out for you, you look out for them, and nobody knows better than the people in the neighborhood what's out of place.
We're going to go against the wall, then we'll go to Spectrum, and then we'll go to Monica.
I wanted to ask about the feelings of public safety.
Please say your name and publication.
I'm sorry, I'm Michael Monks with KFI.
Thanks, Mike.
You mentioned, Mayor, the feelings of public safety and how important that is to address. I'm thinking about streetlights that are out,
Right.
or encountering people on the street or the subway who may not be a danger to us,
Right.
but appear to be a danger to us in some way. And I know those are harder to quantify than raw numbers.
That's right.
Like this. You mentioned new comprehensive strategies that can be deployed to address people's feelings. Can you elaborate on what that means?
Sure, not to address people's feelings, but a couple of the programs I mentioned, the Gang Reduction Youth Development Program, as well as the Community Safety Partnerships, and then I also mentioned the Circle Teams. The Circle Teams specifically are with 911 would refer a call for an individual, often an individual experiencing homelessness, that is also suffering from a mental health crisis that can easily turn into a violent situation that then would require LAPD to go in and intervene. And so the focus of that team is to de-escalate that issue. So using alternative resources. We will do another press conference tomorrow that is specifically going to detail those strategies, but that's what I meant. It wasn't so much how people feel. However, you mentioned Metro, and there is an example in Metro where we've established this ambassador program. Now there's hundreds of community members who are trained, who are on Metro, on the buses, on the trains, specifically to help people feel okay, but if they see someone, again, often suffering from mental illness, a person experiencing homelessness, they deal with that person. And they've been able to intervene before crime takes place. I also have to say, with the ambassadors, they've also been trained in how to use Narcan. And I know by November of last year, they had saved close to 200 individuals.
Next question is Spectrum, and then Monica with ABC.
Parker with Spectrum News. So in light of the analysis you're announcing today, these latest crime statistics, how do you think that might affect any potential recall effort down the road?
Well, let me just say that my focus is on keeping the city safe, and my focus is making sure that we rebuild and recover in the Palisades area and that people can return home as fast as possible. My focus is on my job, and it'll continue to do that.
Next question to Monica.
Hi, Monica de Anda with ABC7. My question is for the chief. This is a bit of a specific one, but looking at here, we have the felony hit and run traffic resulting in death. It's been down, but one area of concern for our viewers, they've been reaching out about the Sepulveda area off of Mission Hills and North Hills. We've seen just yesterday the big crash at the T-Mobile. We had an elderly man hit and killed there just last month. So can you address any efforts you guys are making into specifically that area?
Yeah, our traffic coordinator continuously studies where the what the trends are, where we're seeing patterns, where we're seeing clusters of incidents like this, and deploy our resources there. Motor enforcement would be a likely first step in being able to go out there. Traffic enforcement comes down to education, engineering, and enforcement. It's a three-pronged approach. So we look at what are the factors of causation, and then how do we best address that. There are places in the city where we've seen over time that the lights, tri-light signals need to be adjusted or modified, that there are other issues that the engineering component, we're constantly doing education as far as driving safely, driving at prudent speeds, and DUI certainly is always something we talk about. So it goes back to taking a close look at what's causing these traffic collisions here for both serious injury and fatal injuries, and dedicating the appropriate resources there. Thank you.
Brittany, you have one more?
Yeah, another thing. Sorry, Mayor Bass, a question for you as well.
This is the last question.
Reporting over the weekend from the LA Times had reported, and I'm just looking to see if this is accurate, that you had approved a merit-based increase in pay for former Chief Crowley. Are you able to say if that is accurate? And if so,
yes, that is accurate. We gave merit raises to the majority of our general managers. That raise was approved in December, and then we had the events of January. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all.